Maybe one time.
Good morning. Oh, y'all eating, it must be real good because I didn't get one response. We're going to try this again. Good morning. Good morning. That's so much better. All right. Welcome, everyone. I'm Tammy Moore, Chairwoman of the Chamber of Commerce. Please take a moment to silence your cell phones. I would like to call on Vice Chairman Brady Burrell for the invocation and Board Member Howard Castade for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
If we can bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you that you have given us this opportunity to serve our community, to fellowship with one another. We thank you for the hands that have prepared this food. We ask that you would bless the food and those that prepared it. We pray that you would bless our public officials, those that serve us in any capacity, whether they be a public official, our first responders, or members of the armed forces. We pray that you would bless them, protect them, continue to guide and direct our officials, bless our community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Howard and Brady. Again, thank you for joining us. Our next monthly luncheon will be held on July 31st at the Petroleum Club of Morgan City. Please refer to the Chamber News Blast next week for details regarding the event. Please allow me to introduce the head table from my left to right. Yes. Right to left. Laura Meadows, immediate past chair of the board. Senator Robert Allen, Representative Vincent St. Juan, Representative Beryl Amity, myself, Brady Burrell, Vice Chairman, Trenisha Hayes, Executive Assistant, and Alyssa Clark, Treasurer. At this time, I would like to thank elected officials and special guests for taking time out of their busy schedules to attend this breakfast. We have with us from U.S. Senator John Kennedy's office, Sarah Day, Acadiana Regional Representative. Please raise your hand or stand. We have with us Senator Robert Allen. We have Representative Beryl Amity. And we have Representative Vincent St. Juan. With the parish, we have Lieutenant Colonel John Call. We have Clerk of Court, Greg Oquin. We have Parish President Sam Jones, Parish Councilman David Hill, Parish Councilman Mark Duhon, and her Councilman Tomaline Askew, and Assistant Chief of State. From Madison, we have Mayor Rodney Grogan. From Franklin, we have Mayor Eugene Fokar and Mayor Pro Tem Lester Levine. With the Franklin Council, we have Councilman Joe Garrison. From Baldwin, we have Mayor Clarence Vampy. With the St. Mary Parish School System, we have Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Buffy Fegenbush. With Nicholls State University, we have Gerard David. With South Louisiana Community College, you have myself. Other school board members, we have Rhonda Dennis, Deborah Jones, and myself. And if we have missed anyone, please stand now, wave, and just introduce yourself real quick. Mayor Dragon? Yes, I did. No one else? All right. Well, thanks again for everyone who is here with us today. Our luncheon sponsors for today are our elite sponsors, Bayou Bend Health System, and Innomore and Omega Waste Management. And our featured sponsor is Champagne Events, LLC. We will now welcome Bart Foss, the COO of Bayou Bend Health System, to say a few words.
All right, good morning, everybody. Thanks to the Chamber for again allowing us to sponsor, and thanks for choosing our beautiful conference center here to host this breakfast. I hope this is the first of many that we can do here. We really love hosting and entertaining these types of things. Everything is going exceedingly well at Bayou Bend Health System, I'm happy to report. You may have seen as you drove by, we have broken ground and we're pouring concrete right now. That's for our new hospital expansion. We're going to be adding 2 new operating rooms, an MRI suite in the hospital, and currently if you walk through our front doors, you can't see it from the road, but we've got a ton of temporary walls up because we're doing a remodel of our registration areas within the hospital. All to make it a better customer experience for our patients who come here and allow us to provide some additional services. With the new operating rooms, we're also recruiting some new physicians and new specialties. Really pleased to announce Dr. Johnny Perez, who many of you may be familiar with. He's a longtime general surgeon and bariatric surgeon. He joined us officially as of yesterday. So Dr. Perez is going to be setting up seeing patients starting next Monday in the clinic right up Northwest Boulevard. It's going to be the Bayou Bend Bariatric Center. We're very, very excited about having him here. Dr. Perez is, again, he's been doing this for about 20 years, bariatric surgery, general surgery, thoracic surgery. So he's very, very skilled, and we're excited to kind of level up our entire surgical suite by bringing him on. Last but not least, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. We are coming upon, believe it or not, the first anniversary of this wellness center opening. It's hard to believe that it was a year ago now, or almost a year ago, that we were opening up this beautiful building. And to do that, to celebrate, we are throwing a big party. We're throwing the Shake Your Sneakers party on July 20th. So I invite all of you publicly to come and attend. This is just to celebrate a year of being open and doing what we do here and making healthier lifestyles for everybody in the community. But the additional benefit to that party is it's a fundraiser for the Council on Aging. We all know how important our seniors are to our population, so we are raising funds for the Council on Aging. We have not set an admission price because we want everybody to be able to access this and be able to come and enjoy it. So all we ask for admission is that you just make a donation to the Council on Aging. It can be $1, it can be $100, or anything in between. Whatever you can afford, we'd really appreciate it. We have several sponsors who have already stepped up for the event. If you're interested in getting a table or a sponsorship, come find me after and we'll talk. But I think that's all I got. I think that's enough. We're going to try to keep this short. So thank y'all.
Thank you, Bart, and thank you to all of our sponsors. Your generosity and commitment make events like this possible. We will now turn it over to our esteemed leaders who will share valuable insights and recap this year's legislative session. District 21, Senator Robert Allen, District 51, State Representative Beryl Amedee, and District 50, State Representative Vincent St. Blanc. Please hold your questions until the end of their talks. In the spirit of Southern hospitality, we are delighted to first welcome to the podium Representative Amedee, followed by Representative St. Blanc, and concluding with Senator Allen.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here today in this beautiful building and to see all your faces again and some new faces. So if I haven't met you yet, if you can stick around after, come say hello. I'd like to get to know your name and what you do. I want to give a report of what we've done this year so far. We've gone through 3 sessions. We had first a special session that dealt with maps, second a special session on crime, and then we had the regular session. So because of time constraints, I won't try to go over everything, but just give you a little summary and hit some highlights. First of all, this year in the regular session, we handled 1,491 bills, 42 constitutional amendments, and 771 resolutions for a total of 2,304 instruments. That might be a record. I'm not sure, but man, that's a lot. So if it feels like we were busy, if it feels like you kept getting news reports of all the different various bills, well, that's because there were so many. So first I'd like to start with the budget, which is, as you know, we pass a budget every year, and by law it has to be balanced. I wanted to say that I was pleased that this year's budget is actually smaller than last year's. I'm saying that I'm pleased with that because there's a forecast for some shortfalls. And by spending less right now, we'll be better able to handle the shortfalls that are projected to happen in the next few fiscal years. So this year's budget was, the total budget was $49.6 billion. And I think last year's, at the time we passed it, was 51 point something. So that's why I said it's less. Now, on this first slide, I wanted to bring this slide because, I don't know, I'm a visual learner, and so I love to see things, and I like that it's all laid out in color. I brought this slide on the next one because I wanted to explain that we still have a budget that is mostly tied up with healthcare and education. And so looking at this chart, this is the State General Fund, which this year is at $12 billion. And in the State General Fund, this is the only money that the legislature really gets to move around at all. So keep that in mind in the future. If we end up having to face some shortfalls, this is the only parts of the budget that the legislature can use to resolve that shortfall. And so if you think that higher ed and healthcare and education are always being cut, well, it sure feels like that, and here's why. Healthcare is 26.3% of the State General Fund. Education, when you combine K-12 and higher ed, is 46.4%. So when you put these all together, the State General Fund is the part of the budget that the legislature can move around, and 72.7% of that is healthcare and education. So if we had to resolve any shortfalls, everything else combined is only 27% of this appropriations. Now, if we could go to the next slide. Do I change that? Okay. This next slide is the total budget. And the reason I wanted to show this to you is because you can also see that how large a portion healthcare and education are in the total budget. If you add those up together, $30.8 billion, or 62% of the state's total budget from all sources and all spending is education and healthcare. While we're on this page, it doesn't show here, but I just wanted to let you know that Louisiana, I believe, is still the most dependent state on federal dollars, with about 50% of our state budget coming from federal funds. Now, it's not free money. Federal dollars are our tax dollars also, but as long as we're so heavily dependent, then we can also sometimes be controlled by whatever the federal government says. So we're working to reduce the dependency on the federal funds. Next, I'd like to show you something that we're able to do this year that I believe was wisdom with the budget. In your household or your business budgets, if you have a certain allotment that you put aside every month, for example, for savings, and you suddenly have some urgent need. So in your household, let's say you put $300 a month to savings every month, and your refrigerator breaks. Well, if you need to, you could choose to redirect some or all of that $300 towards the purchase of a new refrigerator. Another was a bill that would forbid foreign entities from countries that are not our nation's friends purchasing and owning agricultural land. Another bill allows for the sale of full schools to either hire or accept teachers, school chaplains. Another bill adds the 10 Commandments as something that schools need to. We passed a bill banning the sale of hemp products containing THC to try and regulate that to the point where children cannot go into convenience stores and buy things that are going to buy in mind-altering ways. So with that, I will stop and reserve time for questions at the end if we have them. Thank you.
Next, Mr. St. Blanc.
Good morning. I would like to thank the St. Mary Chamber for hosting this legislative breakfast. I would also like to thank each of you for attending. Each year that passes our state legislature, although I have been involved in the process for more than 40 years, I feel that we keep moving great strides to move the state forward. I know sometimes it may feel that it takes a while to move a ball a few yards down the field. Know that we are working hard to make our districts and our state better. It was a long, hard 3 sessions that we've been through. And I'd like to thank publicly right now Burrow and Robert for how we worked together. It wasn't easy, and we had everything that we did. We had District 50 and Senate District 21 that we didn't think about every day. I don't know how I can thank Robert the most. There's not too many times that legislature has a senator. We only got one. I got one, and it's really lucky because the way things worked out, that the Senate really was in the power, and he came every day to my desk, and I spent a lot of time in his office. The few bills, I had a few bills that I want to tell you about that were strictly, mostly for my district. House Bill 215, I carried for Matt Dragner. It provides relative classified police service in Morgan City. He needed a little help on that, passed the bill. No opposition in committee, on the floor, committee in the Senate, and Senator Allen got no opposition at the on the floor of the Senate. HB 377, it's a civil service. It authorized a virtual charter school students that can take a remotely test. Had a little problem with this. We worked it, and knowing what I'm doing, I worked it hard and made sure, but I had to hold it 1 year because they had some things that it wasn't comfortable with, send it into a resolution, and we'll do it next year. That's one thing about bills. You don't push things that you know you're going to have problems with. You sit down, you get everybody. I'm always compromising. So that bill will be run next year. HB 397, it's a consumer protection, and it's for Louisiana Underground 811. My third bill I carry for 811. That's the no-dig bill. It's a simple, it needs to be ticked, all the time, each year. So I've been going to their meetings, been doing this for a long time with them. It's with the Public Service Commission that most of this also chose me for the third time with our internet, our service that we're digging, and with carbon capture and all this, we have to get the cities and everything with utilities that they'll have maps so that we pass my top is us eliminate top stack and stuff. This one I had a real tough time, never put that in a resolution too. On hold a resolution so we can move it into foster complete, which will help more students. Tammy knows all about this. Okay. It passed House and Senate. B 799 is provided and then I had a basketball team winning the Louisiana High School. Because I want to tell y'all how we set my district and District 21, how me, Burrow, and Robert. Let me give you a little deal. I was talking because this is we prior to the beginning of this session, most residents continued to think the state was headed in the wrong direction. But the precipitation this is what, when you grab me in the stand. %, of last year. 28%. Only 36% of Louisiana residents express confidence in the government of what it's saying, that they do not have the confidence in the government of Louisiana. The state index for consumer sentiment the actual situation in the economy getting better than previous years. We're doing everything we can now, and actually and their wages and everything is better, their education. Most residents of Louisiana give a high evaluation to their local neighborhoods about Franklin. In our cities. Community Technical College made sure to help the state legislature Senator Allaire, Senator Brett Allaire, Burrow, and me have worked hard to give you a local for the year. Most people had less positive views on coastal protection and restoration effects along the coast. This impacts St. our figures that they got from us, the evaluation, is because we building coasts. We doing things. And that's just because of the chapel line stuff. The healthcare providers, not the part. That's why seven, 48 are really hard to get up in the middles because of healthcare, poverty, poor, stuff like that. So what we doing and what what we doing. And I just want to thank y'all for when it comes to believing in us and doing what we have to do. Because these infrastructure in Louisiana. However, if you look around, you see most of our state highways being repaved, bridges being inspected and fixed. And safe. We're going to pay. And they're going to maintain it and run it. So that's what with the crime. I'll tell you about crime. We're getting it down. Every mayor and see something, say something. I was there every meeting that we education 9%. Superintendent Buffy calls me constantly. We're working hard. We're doing things in education right alongside. The last thing is insurance. Well, I'll leave that up to Senator Allen because he's on the insurance committee and it is. I'm pretty sure it's going to move up this level. But I want to thank y'all. I worked 365 days. Ready to go. I really want to thank y'all. And anything that you see in here, I could talk for hours on what we're doing. I'll make the time. And anything that you call about, if I can't do it that minute, I'll get somebody on the phone that'll put you in the right place.
Good morning, everybody. Denny took a little bit of my time, so we're going to be full to get done. there's a lot of inner working, so I want to thank the board and everyone who serves. Where's Miss Laura? Number of people. I want to thank my delegation, Representative Amade, Representative St. Blanc, for working together. Like Benny said, I'd go over there every day in the House, and it was a running joke that I was lost. I was in the wrong chain. I had to go get past over there too. So thank you. And I want to thank everyone for coming, but thank the entire Senate District 21 for putting the faith in me in order to do this job. It's a very important job, and I take it very seriously. On your table, you'll see my card, my information, my office. That's Ms. Laura's cell, and my email. Please let us know what issues you're having. Anything from insurance to, there's too much trash on the bridge. Even if it's a federal issue, if you have any issue, contact our office. If our office is not the right one to handle it, we will get you in the right place. So we maintain an open door policy, and we want to hear from you. So please call. I focused my first three sessions on building relationships. Getting things done in Baton Rouge is built on relationships. So obviously in my chamber in the Senate, over in the House, but also with the governor and his team, is building trust and building relationships. I promised when I ran to be the most effective legislator I could be. And that's why I'm doing it this way, is building those trusts and making these relationships in order to be effective. So let's look at some of the results. Capital outlay, St. Mary Parish, $12 million in cash, $34.5 million in trailing money. Nichols Fletcher, SLCC and higher ed, $13 million cash, $25.2 million trailing money. CPRA flood protection, that services 8 parishes, $80 million. Chaffalot Basin protection and enhancement, $4 million cash, $4 million trailing. Member amendments, we are allotted per senator $750,000 per senator to distribute amongst his district. I asked for a little more. I was able to secure 1.45. I may have slipped some things in there when people weren't looking. But I'll always spread the money throughout the district. It's a large district, touches 6 parishes, but I want to be very fair with every part of the district. That's important to me. Last, let's talk insurance. Against my better judgment, I asked to get on the insurance committee, knowing that the disaster it was. And look, I'll just disagree a little bit with insurance being the third most important. From my office, it's number one. I get 90% of my constituents that contact me is about insurance, home and auto. So what do we do about it this session? I met with the new insurance commissioner, Tim Temple, every day. He would either come to the Capitol or I would go to his office, and he said, I'm going to have to get you a permanent tag, the visitor tag, you're wearing it out. We sat down, and we knew that the only way to lower insurance is more competition, more people riding. Well, how do we do that? So the commissioner, the insurance committee, we went and meet with all these insurance companies that either no longer write here or won't write here because of X, Y, Z. And we said, what do you need? What statute do you need? What laws do you need in order to consider coming here? And they gave us a list of, 100 things. We were able, I think we put forth 64 insurance bills total. 38 bills passed. We passed 38 insurance bills, both on the home and the auto. One of those was mine. And look, is that enough? I don't know. I wish I could stand here and say we passed it, insurance is solved, your rates are going down next year. We can't guarantee that. I know how important it is. That's why I sit on the committee for our businesses, for our homeowners, for our young people trying to buy homes. It affects more things than just the amount of money it's going to take every year to insure your home. It's affecting people's ability. It's affecting the housing market. I know that this is a crisis, and I want to let you know I'm working on it. And the one thing that I really took away from the session with insurance was the insurance commissioner came to our insurance committee for every one of these bills, and he said, let's try it. We have to try something different. And if it doesn't work, put it on my back. I've never heard a statewide elected official say if it doesn't work, it's on me. So look, give Temple the opportunity, give our insurance committee the opportunity. We're working on it. I know how important it is. Really quickly, the Seafood Protection Act. There was a 5-bill package. One of the bills was mine, protecting our shrimpers, trying to give them a fair chance with all these imports. So we put stricter testing requirements on imports, and we're trying to give our commercial fishermen a fair shot. Agriculture bills, I had 2, one for agriculture burning, one for the state chemist. I had another bill on the coastal protection donation checkbox. You can, if you do your taxes, you want to donate a few dollars to coastal protection, you can do that. So I ran 5 bills. One bill was a mirror bill. The tort reform bill ended up being the representative, Chairman McFarland's bill is an identical bill to mine. So that piece of tort legislation passed, was signed by the governor. But my other 4 bills received zero no votes in both chambers. I went to both chambers, like I mentioned earlier, and building these relationships and explain to them why these bills are important. And that's why I want to be effective up there and be able to deliver. In closing, like I said, I worked hard to build my relationship with my colleagues. I'll continue to do that every day. And make sure you come and see us. We want to know what's important to you. I'm just here to be your voice. So without me hearing from you, it's just my voice. So please come see us, email us, call us, talk to us, complain to us. We're there for you. So thank you.
We will now open the floor to questions.
It's also a hurricane evacuation room.
Thank you for asking. I've been speaking with DOTD, but that's not one that I have the latest on, but I'd be happy to get that for you.
If I missed it, I could have been out serving, but I didn't hear anything about that new gun thing. That was passed by the governor.
Before we continue with yours, I just want to speak to the last gentleman. Representative St. Blanc said that the letting is supposed to be out in August. It'll be let in August. Thank you. I'm sorry, ma'am, for interrupting.
Living in this shoot-up world that we're living in, and you know it's true, why would they allow 18-year-olds to have weapons with no training? Maybe I misunderstood the bill or whatever it is, but it looks like they need to be taking guns off the table instead of adding more to it. So what's up with the allowing these children? They're not mature yet, and they may not have history, criminal history yet, but they have a weapon, and as they get older, something happens, they already have a weapon. I don't have to go out and buy one and commit the crime. They already have it. So what's up with the 18-year-old and the guns? And then you say, well, they're not allowed in certain areas. They never stopped them yet. I mean, they still get in areas where they're not supposed to have weapons, and they kill people. So now they got younger people able to walk around, guns in their hips.
For the sake of the sound, the lady's asking about the constitutional carry bill, and she's asking about why would we pass a law that would allow 18-year-olds to carry guns without training, and is that the summary of your whole question? Okay, thank you. So constitutional carry is a bill that was passed this session, and the reason that it passed with 18 as the age is because that's what the U.S. Constitution provides. So it was just a matter of aligning state law with the Constitution of the United States. And right now, criminals don't follow the law. No matter what law we write, criminals will not follow the law. And so, yes, we can look at 18-year-olds and say that they're really not mature enough, but to be honest with you, it's not necessarily a maturity thing, it's more a mental health thing, and even 35-year-olds and 65-year-olds can mishandle weapons and handle them illegally. So it was debated heavily at the Capitol, but the bill did pass as constitutional carry, and it mirrors what the federal law says. Thank you.
And I hope that you have an agenda, because I'm thinking somebody may have, because something else is coming up that pipeline. But that Ten Commandments, I hope you maybe rewrite it something. Because I know little kids know more now than they did before. But when you put it up there, as is in the Bible, what do they know about adultery? Coveting somebody else's wife, and their property. So I hope you rewrite it, but still have the same meaning, or have a class that's going to explain to them what these Ten Commandments mean.
Thank you. She was sharing concerns about the bill that we passed that requires that the Ten Commandments be posted in public school classrooms, and a main focus of her concerns was about the commandment that says, "Thou shalt not commit adultery," and she was concerned that we might want to edit the wording for the future, maybe next year, because young children, very young children, might not understand what that means, and so somebody might be required to have to explain that to them. The reason that the language was in the bill the way it's drafted is because that same language is the language that's used where the Ten Commandments are currently displayed, which are in places such as the hallways in the Supreme Court of the United States building. And I think there's a one on display in Texas. I forget if it's at the Supreme Court or the Capitol. I haven't been there. I just heard that it's there. So the language was placed in the bill specifically so that it lines up with language that has already been approved through the judicial system in other cases. And so the bill also allows for the display of certain other historical documents. And the bill does not require that they be taught, it requires that they be displayed. And the bill does not require that the school system spend any money to display, it requires that they display them when they are donated. So that's the Ten Commandments bill. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Ms. Levine?
It's not just mentioned, it's not required, but the purpose of passing the law, which is in the classroom, and that's the kid, when you walk in there, this is what it's all about. I find a problem there, because we're going to pass a law, and they don't want to educate the kids about it. At some point in time, you put something in my class, when I'm standing there looking, I need to know what I'm walking into. I need my son to know what he's looking at. Every day you come in there, it's on the wall, but then you have no clue why it's there, what it's there for. That's kind of thrown me off a little bit with that one. Kind of, say a little more about that.
Yes, sir. So the gentleman said that if the Ten Commandments bill that we passed does not require the teaching of, maybe we should, because if something's going to be hanging on the classroom walls, surely students are going to ask about it. So let me explain. One of the goals this session was to remove from statute lots of mandates that require specifically what teachers should teach or how teachers should be trained, and put that back where it belonged, under the authority of Bessie. And so by mandating that they be displayed, it wasn't that the legislature doesn't expect there to be questions or doesn't expect them to be taught. It's that we currently have in place already social studies curriculum standards from K through 12 that cover American history, and the Ten Commandments display in the classroom is primarily required because it's part of the foundation of our nation's laws. And so they will be taught through the courses that are required, or through the curriculum standards that are required in the social studies curriculum, K through 12, during certain school years or under certain subjects. So that they will be included, but we didn't put that in this bill to mandate how or when they're taught. It's already taken care of in the curriculum standards.
Just a quick comment. You know, it doesn't line up, I don't think that lines up with our you say with the nation's laws, and I know you just want to what you know of, but our nation laws is one thing, but biblical principles is another. American history is one thing, but the Bible has, well, the Ten Commandments coming from the scriptures have nothing to do with the Bible. And what the councilman here was just saying, you know, when it comes to kids learning, they need to be taught, right? And not every home, unfortunately, teaches biblical principles and have Bible study or whatever the case may be. So these kids do go to school, and lots of them don't know what the Ten Commandments are. Now, I don't know how they come up with ways of teaching them, but it shouldn't fall under guidelines of saying that it lines up with the Bill of Rights or whatever. You know, and it shouldn't. It shouldn't. So when you guys are sitting there, you know, you're taking up these bills and so forth and so on, maybe you don't have people in there asking a comment and giving you guys the right input before passing such bills. So that's just a comment. But thank you for what you do. We're not beating you up or anything. We just comment on, like Ms. Sharp was saying, on situations concerning gun laws and all that. But thank you. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
I'd just like to say one thing. Me and Darrell said education. Just like this, we heard that. Me and Burrow sit on the education committee. We get there at 8 o'clock. We debated the putting the 10 Commandments in schools 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours we debated. We knew exactly everything. And it passed the committee. It passed the House. And it passed the committee in the deal. And it's passed on the Senate. But it was debated heavily. And now you know that it's in court right now. That's what we do. We make laws. And then the things that you're talking about, now it's in the courts. So that's the process. That's what had happened. But it wasn't taken lightly. I'm telling you, 2.5 hours of debate just on this 10 Commandments bill.
You know, Vincent, I believe that, but, you know, I don't know whether people are asking, commenting the right dialogue.
Every dialogue that you're talking about, I can tell you. Yes.
I want to commend y'all for one, Ten Commandments are the simplest wording document known to man. It's been around since the beginning of time. Okay? This is what we learned when we were younger. Right? And as it evolved through generations, we see what's happening. It's not everybody's fault that these kids are not being taught at home. But what normal wording is, and you can't say you don't know what it is with technology, because they can Google anything they want faster than we know what it is. So I want to commend you for putting it in and fighting for the majority. Okay, I understand what other people are saying, but it's about as simple as wording as you can get, and it's pretty common sense. Right? So I just had to say that. I commend you all for doing that.
Okay.
Madam Chairman, can I say something very quick?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, on behalf of the 39% population, okay, that senior citizens, I want to thank all three of you for putting
for all those great questions. To our speakers, thank you all for joining us today and providing us with these valuable updates. We greatly appreciate all the work you do for our area. We would also like to extend our heartfelt thanks again to our sponsors for your continued support of the Chamber, in addition to our sponsors for your continued support and to the Bayou Bells Catering for the delicious breakfast. Before we conclude, I will turn it over to our Executive Assistant, Shanisha Hayes, who will provide a few updates and close out the session for us.
All right, I'll keep it very brief. We just want to thank everyone for each of your support in our education banquet that we held last Thursday. We made over $11,000, so thank you guys for all your donations attending. We greatly appreciate it. You've probably received an email from me last night regarding our new Growth Zone software. It is a chamber-specific program that we are implementing right now. Beginning July 1st, you'll only receive emails from Growth Zone. So if you are in constant contact, I am working very hard to put in those emails into Growth Zone. However, if you did not receive that email or you logged in or tried to create an account and you could not, is because when we integrated, we were only allowed to put 2 contacts. That would be your billing contact and typically the CEO or owner. I was up till 9 o'clock last night putting in those emails, so just give me time. Reply to that email, because you should have all gotten it if you received constant contact. Reply to that email I sent you. If you cannot create an account, let me know. I'll quickly go in and add you to it. Next month's luncheon will be at the very end of the month. We do not have a speaker yet for that event, but please stay tuned to the News Blast next Monday for that info. And thank you again. Before I close out, I do want to thank everyone who played a part in today's breakfast. And Ms. Lena Clemens, thank you for helping out in the kitchen, and our board and staff. Thanks.